And this USC team will battle back from one down against UC Santa Barbara. Max Kelton and Coach Cam with you here in the Galen. And UC Santa Barbara played well early on in the first set, but both these teams hitting somewhat a similar efficiency early on through this. The Gauchos just able to side out at a better rate.
Absolutely, just a little bit more at 286 for the Gauchos and 273 for USC. The Gauchos now, they just have to keep the pressure on. They outplayed USC on defense, which I think was the biggest differential in the game. And SC just has to settle in. Losing one set isn't a big deal, but you got to put some pressure on them with the service, and you got to step up the game defensively, which I think they missed some opportunities to dig some balls, which tended to be the difference in the game.
USC was led by Dylan Klein in that first set, but it was different halfway through. They stopped going to Klein at the rate that he was swinging, maybe just due to rotation, but Klein's chances primarily came in the first half of the first set. We'll see if that philosophy changes here in the second. UC Santa Barbara, led by Ryan Wilcox and Dane Chalmers, each with 5 kills apiece.
Yeah, so USC came out in a different rotation this time around. They started in row 1 to get a little bit different matchup, so we'll see if that affects the game. A lot of times that does. Just one simple change can affect a lot of things, so we'll see how that goes.
So that brings Jack Walmer back to the line here. Tennant left it middle, into the hands it goes, and it finds a window in the floor.
Yeah, it's tough. When you try to go too high, sometimes you don't actually penetrate across the net, and if you leave a little bit of space, that ball can roll right down you, which is exactly what just happened there.
That block has to get its hands dirty if they want a chance at this one. I think the defense is key for both these teams in terms of getting on top.
Yeah, and the Santa Barbara back to the middle there, which is really what they love to do, off of a great pass by Max Gordon. Good play by Santa Barbara.
Brandon Hicks was there for the kill. An idea of who Brandon Hicks is, earlier today I saw Brandon Hicks in here warming up, and one of the players on the Gauchos, I think Dominic Lang it was, looked at a USC Trojan shirt, and Brandon Hicks said to him, no, get away from there. Unless it says Scochos, we don't want you touching it. So
I love it.
And the senior, and a big reason why, this team just relies on him.
100%. Great swing right there by the outside by Cobrine. So impressive that he's never played outside hitter before. This is his first time doing it, and he's so good at it.
There's a few players on this USC team who aren't most comfortable at the position they're playing, but granted, they've adjusted really well.
100%, and that's just a tribute to being a good athlete and having good coaches. It's a great set by Jack Walmer right there. Perfect pass in system. Tough to stop that.
Walmer with a game-high 13 kills. Here's Brandon Hicks from the service line. Tennant left it for Klein, who couldn't get it to go. The bump back for Bianchi. Nice play to keep it high. Klein soars in again, and this time it's a kill.
Wow, just incredible athleticism by Cobrine and Dylan Klein. What an amazing play by both those guys.
Dylan Klein is going to be a terrific player for many years. You can see the athleticism and the decision-making. He just has such raw power. Ryan Wilcox with the change-up, handled well. There's Tennant, back for Cobrine, and the soft touch. Oh, it doesn't fall! Cobrine with the sharp angle swing, and that slid out.
Tough to make that swing in the court against a 3-man block. That's a decision that you got to go high off the hands there to give yourself the best chance for success. He was close, but it's a tough ball to kill when you got 3 guys in your face.
It's so difficult balancing whether you want to go for the kill or let your defense do the work on the next possession.
Yeah.
Have to be able to adjust midair and read that play, and both these teams with such a good block, it makes things difficult for the offense. That time Cobrine might have made the right decision, but a beautiful save from Gordon. Walmer got to it, and Gordon got it over. Now Cobrine with the counter. Oh, what a nice pickup from Wilcox. And that time it's a finish at the net. What a great rally.
Again, a point for USC, but you got to give credit to Santa Barbara for the amount of effort they put on that point. That's Rick McLaughlin's teams 100%. That is what he does. That is what his teams do. They battle and make it tough for you to put that ball to the floor. That was an incredible rally.
That was Lucas Frasrind who was able to finish after these two teams went blow for blow on that last rally. Here's Cobrine. Smart play from Jack Walmer to leave it for Todorov.
That's a tough set to make, and that's the stuff that they're going to learn, is that Jack can make those sets, the middles are available, and they can get up and kill. If you can kill the ball from a middle or from off the net, you're going to make things difficult on the blockers, and that's exactly what happened. And
Donovan Todorov now hitting at 500 tonight. Hey, that's what Gaucho fans are used to this season, with this young man hitting at 5'10 this season. He's taking a tremendous step forward this year on the offensive side, but maybe his defense has regressed in terms of the results. Last year, he was 5th in the country in blocks in the entire nation. This year, he only has 6 over the first 6 matches. So he's really struggled to get the same production on the defensive side of the ball, but he's taken the step forward on offense. Got to try and find that balance for Todorov.
Absolutely, and I think that will come. I think as you see teams more, you get used to what they do, and you get a better read for teams. So I wouldn't doubt if he puts that together, and if he has his offense like this, that's going to be huge for them.
Dylan Klein just couldn't find the right spot.
Well, that goes back to the volleyball IQ of Jack Walmer. If you saw what he did there, he went up for the block, knew that Dylan was going to try to swipe it off his hands, and he pulled his hands away. It's really, really smart, high volleyball IQ play by Jack Walmer.
Hey, it's a big reason why that young man was recruited by the 2-time national champion in Hawaii. Tennant dove for it. There's Klein, who went soft touch over the hands. Walmer left it. This time Walmer soars in for Bianchi, who drops it in.
I think SC needs to be careful here. The score is close, but it sort of feels like Santa Barbara's really got some momentum and they're feeling it and believe they can win. So SC's got to turn some things around, win some of the long rallies. That's a big thing against this team, so you kind of deflate their energy.
UC Santa Barbara enjoys playing on the road. They're getting pumped up. You can see the fire in their bench and how that adrenaline helps the players on the floor. How about the sheer power again from USC, but they just can't find the right spot.
Yeah, when you start to get touched a lot as an attacker where the balls, you can't put the ball to the floor, you start to change the way you swing a little bit, and things usually don't go your way if mentally you aren't taking the same swings because you're frustrated that you can't kill the ball, and that's what's happening with Santa Barbara. They're touching everything and outplaying USC on defense right now. So SC's got to just settle in and play their game.
Coach Jeff Nygaard says it doesn't matter what the other team does as long as we play our brand of volleyball. Ryan Wilcox had a nice swing, and that was down ref Derwin Jordan who made the call in the Gauchos' favor.
Yeah, I know Coach Nygaard lives by that. He believes in his team that if they do things the way they do it, that they can hang with any team. I just think right now they're pressing a little bit because it feels frustrating that they just can't put a ball away without someone touching it. And a lot of times that changes everyone's mindset, and that's a big deal. And like I said, it was just 7-5, now it's 9-5, just like that, and it feels a whole lot different. So this timeout's going to be big. See what they can come up with out of the timeout, what they're going to run. So we'll see. But Santa Barbara is just killing it in all areas of the game right now. Blocking, defense, they're attacking, setting. Really, really good volleyball by Santa Barbara.
The Gauchos are swinging at .455 in this second set alone. It's the efficiency that has really impressed. And USC closer to about 6% on their hitting percentage. It's just not going to get the job done. But things can really change quickly. And Jeff Nygaard is one of those coaches who takes very smart and timely timeouts.
Absolutely, and it's 9-5, it's early, but you can't be afraid as a coach to stop momentum early, because it could get out of hand just like that. So I think it's a smart timeout from Coach Nygaard. We'll see what Santa Barbara dials up defensively coming out of here.
Not to mention, out of the timeout, out of the break, USC has been effective today. So we'll see what they draw up against the Gauchos, who are in the midst of a 4-0 scoring run here in the second. UC Santa Barbara took the first set handily 25-21, and now up by 4, looking to tack on some more. USC has to step on the pedal a little bit and get that momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, and again, they don't need them all right now, so it's just more of that side out and score one mentality where all of a sudden 4 points becomes 2, and just settle in and trust what your training has done for you so far.
Tough play with a miscommunication. And Brandon Hicks tools it out right after the break. UCSB able to balloon the score up to 5.
Yeah, tough pass right there. Cobrine chose to use his hands, which is difficult. The ball got pretty low on him. You don't want to use your hands unless the ball's above your nose or above your eyes. So that made it difficult for them, and then another easy point for Santa Barbara.
And USC needs a platoon shift here and maybe a little blossom of energy as Ryan Sprague checks in for the first time, the freshman out of Manhattan Beach. Brandon Hicks was there on the defensive side of the ball.
And we'll see if Ryan Sprague can create some energy for this team. He's a real competitor. I've also trained Ryan Sprague since he was about 14 years old, so I know him very, very well. So I know that he can compete and get the job done.
Ryan Sprague had a nice setup right there, just unable to finish. Sprague that time for Duker.
Yeah, that was a huge swing. They needed that. That was in rhythm, good set. He took a real crack at it. So if USC can get close now, they can get a couple points. That's all they need. Like I said, it's the mentality of not needing them all and understanding that, so you can still keep your head in the right place. So they just got to score a couple to get back in the game.
Wilcox went into hands. Now Sprague sets it up for Klein, who drops the tool out.
There you go. Opportunity for USC. Great dig, great swing in transition.
Klein has been active in set number 2. You'll see high volume for the freshman. Bianchi with a sharp touch that went long.
I did not see a touch there. They're arguing for that. I think that one was clearly outside. Doesn't look like Coach McLaughlin's going to go for a challenge here.
Maybe if he were on the opposite bench, had a better look at it, but from all the way over here, no way to be sure. And this time Bianchi does it with damage.
You got to love that as your setter, having confidence to go right back to you after an error. That's huge. It's huge as an attacker to know your setter has the faith in you to set you again after an error. So that was a big play, smart play. Again, volleyball IQ from Jack Walmer.
Bianchi with his 5th kill of the evening. 3 Gauchos have 5 or more. Sprague with a tough set there, and Klein had to adjust. And the cross-court look for Bianchi. He drills it in.
That was just a timing thing for USC. They had a well-formed block, but they were really too early. They were on their way down and weren't able to stay penetrated over the net.
I think that was Max Gordon on the set, too. I could be mistaken. But that's a great assist from a libero all the way across the court.
It's huge to be able to do that.
So the Trojans with a much-needed side out here, and Dylan Klein back to the end line.
I know Dylan can mix it up from the service line. He can chop it short. He can bring the heat. So look for him to mix it up a little bit here.
Wilcox goes into the block. And USC will take it there. That was a close play, but handily for the Trojans.
Tough set from Walmer. I think it was the smart set. He just ran through it a little bit, and the set died inside. USC capitalized on it, got across in the angle, and shut it down.
Here's Klein. Bianchi went high over hands.
There's an example of Klein with the off speed. Having the change of speed as a server is so crucial. As a passer, you can get used to any sort of heat from a server, but when they can mix it up with change of speeds, it makes it really difficult for you to get in a rhythm as a passer. It's a really, really good serve from him.
And that's a 3-0 scoring run for USC. This is just what the Trojans ordered, and especially with Dylan Klein at the service line, the freshman who last year was the AVCA Player of the Year in high school. How about the Klein line? His grandfather, Bob Klein, a tight end at USC back in the 60s. He was a member of the 67 National Championship team before he played for the Rams and the Chargers. Then his father played football as well and volleyball at Stanford. His aunt, she was a 4-time All-American and an Olympian. I mean, all throughout his lineage, Dylan Klein has proven, and his family has proven, how cool of an athletic family they can really be, and he just continues to carry that on.
It's really incredible. We joke a lot about what their Thanksgiving football games are like with their family, because they got to be no jokes. There's tons of athletes.
Sure, they're playing flag football just to make sure he doesn't get injured for this type of season.
Tough play there, tight pass. Sprague tried to make a one-handed set to the middle, but just a little bit of miscommunication there.
Here's Wilcox. Trojans looking to take this momentum and run with it. Here is Paulson. Max Gordon got a piece of it. They're back for Bianchi, who sharp angled it out. Tried to find hands.
Smart swing. Just USC was disciplined at the net and didn't reach for it. I think Jack Walmer tried to do a little too much with that set. I think sometimes when the pass is off the net, forcing a jump set doesn't always equal a good set. So as a setter, you have to make a smart decision. What value am I going to get by jumping and making this set versus staying on the ground, using the ground for stability and being able to put up a hittable ball? Because at the end of the day, that's what we need, especially if you're out of system. So that play started with that. Smart set, but again, I think trying to do a little too much and forced it, and they couldn't get a really good swing out of it, and SC capitalized on it.
And not only is it Jack Walmer who's adjusting to this team, but the players adjusting to Jack Walmer as well. This is Jess Bianchi's third game this season. He was on the Big West Conference freshman team last year with Patrick Paragas as a setter. But Bianchi was terrific a couple evenings ago against Stanford. He had a career-high 26 kills, so you could see the connection is there between those two. But sometimes you have those mistakes where, hey, they just haven't been playing together for as long as some of the other connections on this team, and in some cases, it shows.
Yeah, there's no doubt, but they'll figure it out, and you can tell they're doing that already. Clearly, Jack Walmer has a lot of faith in Bianchi, and I don't blame him. He's got an incredible arm, tons of athleticism. He gets off the ground quick, and again, stopping a lefty is always difficult, so there's no surprise that they're throwing a heavy dose of Bianchi out there.
Bianchi has been impressive, number 2 in the Gaucho Blue. As for USC, we saw lots of Nate Tennant early on. He's coming off a career high in both assists and digs, and his first career double-double in a 5-set loss against UC Irvine. Yet Ryan Sprague has checked into the game and not left halfway through or early on in this second set. Walk me through that decision.
Well, it's tough when things start to kind of unfold or they're out of sorts. A lot of times coaches will go to a setter change to just change the chemistry for no other reason other than that, and it seemed to pay off right now for USC.
They seem to have been able to develop a little bit of a rhythm with Ryan Sprague, and maybe it's just that the Gauchos aren't prepared for what Ryan Sprague has to offer in terms of that offense.
Yeah, it's tough when you don't have a lot of games or footage to scout and understand what he likes to do. It is tough, and it's an advantage sometimes.
That slider just went a little wide.
Yeah, that was tough. I think it was out. It's a tough angle from here to tell, but it looked like it just curved out of bounds, and I don't think SC is going to argue too much about that.
So here's Bianchi. Back-to-back service errors, and USC gets it back to their own end line.
I think it says a lot about USC's depth, too. They have two non-starters on the floor right now, and Duker and Sprague, and they're right there in this match. So I love that Coach Niagara is not afraid to use his bench if things aren't going well.
And all throughout this lineup, you're going to see stars at the high school level. Just a question of whether they can produce amongst the best collegiate players in the country.
Just a little bit too tight of a set. Yeah, it's a difficult transition from being a high school player to a college player. This game is so much faster, so much bigger. So it doesn't always translate, but you got some few athletes like Dylan Klein that step right in and are a huge factor.
We'll see a challenge here as head coach Jeff Nygaard wants to look this one over. So why don't we take a quick breather here in the middle of the second. UC Santa Barbara up by 3, looking to take a 2-set lead over number 10 USC. You're watching NCAA Volleyball live on Pac-12 Streams.
After review, a replay is called.
And we are back here in the Galen Center as the challenge on this play is ruled in favor of USC. So it's Kevin Coburn at the back line. And that set just a little too high. The timing wasn't there.
Yeah, you can see the ball sit in Jack Walmer's hands just a little longer than usual. And if you have that ball spend any sort of time in your hands trying to set the middle, it makes it really, really difficult, especially when the middle's up and on time like that. So just a little bit too long of holding on to that ball for Jack Walmer.
Walmer with 18 assists this evening. Just wasn't able to get that one. Bianchi slides through, but USC handles well. There's Klein into the 3-man block. They look for Klein again, right in front of the antenna, picked up by Chalmers. There's Gordon. The bump set back to Chalmers. It's high up. Sprague went deep to Duker, and USC will take the point.
USC stepping up their defense a little bit. That play started with a great one-handed, left-handed dig from Duker, which was good. Just kept his arms open, prepared, and made a dig. There's two hands not always necessary in this game, and that was a great play by them and a huge transition play by USC. Right back in this game.
Coburn again. That ends a 3-0 run for the Trojans, who had pulled even for just a moment.
It'll be interesting to see how Santa Barbara responds here, if they can put some pressure back on USC and pull away again. Seems to have been the theme so far.
We've seen that motif a couple of times where the Trojans have been able to pull even and then the Gauchos find their footing. That was George Dyer. Coburn came in for the kill.
Incredible play. The big is so much fun to watch. It's the hardest thing to stop in the game. It really has changed the way this game's played, because if you have a good pick out of the back row, it changes what you do defensively.
And running it through a guy like Coburn, I mean, he's really able to show things off.
Well, it just changes everything. having a good attack out of the back row. I thought maybe they were calling him over on this.
I think they're talking about a substitution call here. Just trying to get any kind of clarification. Coach Rick McLaughlin speaks with down ref Derwin Jordan.
Looks like they got a team delay on USC.
Just a substitution, clerical error, if you will.
Counts as a yellow card there, so you can't do it again, that's for sure.
There's Ryan Wilcox, who finds hands and drops it.
Yeah, again, Paulson was there. He just tried to go too big, and in that situation, you don't get across the net. It's a common mistake from blockers, is trying to do a little bit too much rather than just getting across the net and getting in that hitter's face. So he was there, just went really high. Interesting to see him blocking on the right, though, in that play instead of in the middle.
Ben Court back in for UC Santa Barbara, the serving specialist. The line drive set, and Kyle Paulson drops it down.
Great set, great swing. Santa Barbara was close on there, but that was just a little bit too good.
Paulson 2 for 4 this evening with 3 blocks. That's a game high for either team. Walmer tried the misdirection, didn't fool Dylan Klein. There's Ryan Wilcox, who attacks the line. Klein into the 3-man block. Wilcox is there.
That's another one of those swings. You got to love that he's not afraid to go up there and take a rip, but try to go a little bit too low in that situation. That's one you got to go high off the hands. It is the only way to kill the ball in this league. But again, I love that he's not afraid to take a rip.
The Gauchos have been reading Klein well. You can sense his power, and they put 3 men up against him. Walmer, who is often one of the better servers you'll see, is struggling from the line this evening. That's another service error for number 18. Bianchi had to recover. Now the reset, and Klein just couldn't get it down.
Yeah, the set was a little bit too low from Sprague. That would be close to, again, what I consider that yellow light situation. You could see right off the bat it was too low. That's a ball you can't take a full swing on. Tough play.
If Klein could start to read those yellow light swings, man, he could be just a total problem. That time, Paulson got it in.
Big touch off the block. Yeah, I agree with Klein. I think, again, the thing you love about him is he's just not afraid, and that's the kind of kid you want on the floor. He's going to learn from those mistakes, but I'd love a guy like that that's not afraid any day.
The talent is there, no doubt about it. He's developing his volleyball mind as well. The IQ continues to work, especially under a guy like Jeff Nygaard, who is able to lead this team in such a stealthy way. That's Jackson Reed on the serve. Walmer left it for Chalmers into the block. Gauchos kept it alive. Gordon, he'll get it over. Coburn, middle. And the finish! There's Lucas Fresrand.
SC has the momentum now. They can feel it. You can see their body language change. It's funny how this game works. It's just back and forth, especially when there's two teams that are equally as talented like this. So I have no doubt Santa Barbara will respond, however.
Trojans back in the driver's seat here late in the second after the Gauchos took the first. Here is Reed, his second straight serve. Walmer backdoor for Bianchi. Coburn had a chance to block it, but it's sent out.
Smart swing by Bianchi. Just used his wrist a little bit to tool that ball off the block. That was a really, really intelligent swing.
Sam Collins to check in for the first time this evening.
Another Maricosta Mustang.
With so many of them on each of these teams, you can see the type of player that school develops. Not just a great volleyball player, but a fun person to be around as well.
No question. It's sort of known as the Mecca of volleyball, and the history of players that have come out of that school is beyond, from gold medalists to college All-Americans.
So Collins had it over. Now a chance for Coburn. Sharp cut, and that will fall. Another big finish for Kevin Coburn.
Huge swing over the top of the block. That was incredible. Great effort by Santa Barbara. In the pursuit rule, they could bring that ball back on their side of the net if they could, but just a little bit too far this time.
Take another look. Bianchi tried to track it down. Nothing doing. Trojans up by 1, looking to close out this second. Dylan Klein soars in for the kill.
Again, that's what you want out of that kid. His numbers are down. He's not hitting the same, but he's still taking a big swing, and that's the difference. And as a freshman coming in here, being able to do that, it's incredible. He's going to be good for a really long time for this USC Trojan program.
Dylan Klein, absolutely fearless. Can Bianchi keep this alive? I don't think he found hands. USC evens things up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, smart set. They did a blocking switch with USC. They put Sprague on the left. Santa Barbara noticed that, went right at him, and Sprague was smart not chasing that, let him tip the ball out of bounds. That was a great play by him, by a freshman.